Hello everybody and welcome back to Untouchable Tomicas. Today we have the Mitsubishi Pajero number 85. Trying to make some space here. And the American release. That will be touched on in a second. This is the 4th generation Mitsubishi Pajero. And I think the final, they have the Pajero Sport still exists, but not the regular Pajero, which kind of does not make sense, but okay. Yeah, so this was the 4th and final generation. They still made it for a long time, actually. They made it up until 2020, I want to say, is when they stopped, from 2006 to 2020. And of course, that was not in all markets. You know, the Middle East seems to get, like retro, quote unquote, vehicles. Like the Mitsubishi Pajero, they kept making it from the 2016 mold. Well, I'm talking about the real car, not the Tomica. And the Land Cruiser is the same way. Actually, they still make like the 80 series, the 70 series Land Cruisers, and the pickup trucks. So, but keeping with tradition and looking at the Pajero entourage in the back there, we've got to first talk about what is new from Tomica. This would be for June 2023. For the basic line, we have the number 47 Mercedes-Benz EQ. Not terribly exciting. Just a Mercedes sedan. Not bad looking. It is an EV. And I think we are getting the real one in the US. So, not totally obscure, but it does replace a very obscure car to us in the US. The Daihatsu TAF. Kind of sad. This is from 2021. So yeah, it kind of had a little bit of a short life, but whoa. Well, I still really like this release, and I hope they do some more of it soon, before it goes away forever, because, maybe they'll stick it in the sign set or something. Next up, you have number 109, the Shimicharo, I want to say, Shimicharo Sea Park Shuttle Bus. So, of course, like a water park shuttle. It looks, it's most likely an Isuzu. But it doesn't say. It replaces number 109, the DHL truck, which I do not have, but that is also an Isuzu. And then, we got a couple play sets and everything, not going to touch, and some Disney releases, not going to touch on those. And, there's a premium. Oh yeah, it's the Lamborghini Murcielago, number 05 for Tomica Premium. And this one replaces the Lamborghini Mara, I think. Hold on, I just want to confirm that. Yes, the number 5 Lamborghini Mira Jota SVR is replaced by the Mira. Or, no, this is the Mira. The Murcielago. In orange and yellow, or the other color. Very nice, very nice. That's it. Simple news. And let's get into the review of the Mitsubishi Pajero. So this is not the original 105, or not the 105, 85. This is not the original 85 release, or number 85. It's a little banged up. I was thinking about restoring it, but it's not like an actual silver. It's kind of like a bronze silver. It might just customize it. I don't know what I'll do yet. But, so this is the actual mainline release that was released under the 85 number from, let's see, the 2000, oh, actually, no, I got the wiki up. We can go by month to April 21st, 2007 to August 2011. There's no date there, oddly. It's just August 2011. No specific date, at least. And when it came out, it replaced this Pajero, I forget what they call it, control vehicle. Sounds kind of odd, but yeah, they call it a control vehicle, which is based on number 30, which would be this one. This one was not actually number 30. This one would have been marked as 85, but it uses the same base as number 30. So, which this one also needs a restoration. This one too, but I don't know. I don't know what to do with it. I probably would just customize it, because no way I'm going to find someone to make those decos. This one will come into play in a second. And then this one was replaced by the FJ, which didn't last long. This thing is going up in value too. Maybe if I do a season 2 of Untouchable Tomica, this one might be able to enter. I'm just keeping my eye on the rareness of it. I don't think it's that rare, though. I don't think it's rare enough to make the season. So we'll just have to see. So yeah, so if this is not a mainline version, this is not a first color, where did it came from? Well, I hinted in the middle of the video, there is, or in the beginning of the video, the code on the bottom here suggests it's a American release. All the American releases had, most of them had this little production code on the bottom. There's some that didn't, and if they don't, it's every single one that didn't. So it's kind of confusing. I think the Mitsubishi View is one of them that does not have the production code on the base, even though it's an American release. But yeah, the Japanese versions will not have, or never have that code, ever. So yeah, this is an American release. I don't know exactly how it was released. I think it was maybe a 4-pack. I can try finding a photo of it. And yeah, it's just been really rare because this one was exclusive to the American market. But it was based on another version. There was a 4-pack in 2007, I think. Oh no. Called the Touring Collection 4-pack, which included 2 motorbikes, a Toyota Estima, which I would love to have because I think it's got some roof accessory. And so does the Pajero. The Pajero has a little roof box on it, and it's this same exact version. But this one does not have the roof box. So they released it to the US without the roof box. And of course, the roof box is like riveted in there, so there would be holes. So it's not like this one just fell off. No, there's no holes in the roof. This is how it was released. This is how it was intended to be released in the US market, at least. The Japanese version had the roof box. So both of them are pretty rare. I mean, multi-pack versions, as I discussed in the last video, are always going to be a little rare. But this one takes the cake, and this one, I think, is just behind the Black X Trail as the rarest US released Tomica. But forget the history. Well, don't forget the history because it's got a pretty interesting history. Let's get to the actual review here. Like 8 minutes in, covering this model, and now it's time to review. So this is your 4th generation Mitsubishi Pajero, and we'll compare it to some older ones in a second. But you got really nice details here with the black in between the vents. You got your Mitsubishi badge with the black trim around it. Headlights are all part of this one piece. As an insert, this grill is an insert. You got some black trim around the bottom here, and they actually even painted a little skid plate on the base here. That's plastic part of the base. This is metal, which it doesn't look metal, but it is. The roof, or the side rail here, because yeah, it's not plastic. This model does have opening doors, which is very interesting, but I see why they didn't want to make it an opening trunk because of the tire on the back here, which is all metal. This is not a plastic insert. That's all metal, which is pretty cool. And they actually painted the base on the back of this one too with the little skid plate. No taillight decals though, which actually, yeah, someone painted the ones on these. Well, they didn't do a bad job. But yeah, they painted the taillights and then they played with it, and then I got it, and I have not done anything with it. I want to, but I just haven't gotten around to it. So yeah, this one did not have taillights. I'm trying to... Okay, no, the Japanese release did not have taillights either. So yeah, it's literally identical to this, except it had the roof box. The trim on the windows here are flat black, but something I noticed with Tomica, when they're played with, the flat black like loses the mattness to it, and it kind of like starts smoothing out to be gloss, and it's not. Oh yeah, you can even see that on the spare tire here. See, the top of it is very matte, but then the front fascia of it is a little glossy. And yeah, same thing on the bottom there. This is my childhood release, or my childhood version, by the way. I've had this one for years. So, always one of my favorites as a kid, too. I always loved it. I always pretended it was a undercover cop. You know, I'm sure they used them as undercover cops. I think Tomica even did one. Wait a minute, let me look at the wiki here. Oh, they did a fire engine. Oh, they did a police car too. Not an undercover one, but... Oh, they did the British police car too, but then they did like the Japanese special unit with it too. Probably will not put photos of that on the screen because I will not be able to find that time marker. Compared it to that, same casting. We'll take out... This is your 3rd gen. This is your 4th gen Pajero. And I just want to check. 165. So this is a little small. This is 163, so it's a little big. Okay, that makes sense, but yeah, because it is, as you can see, a little wider, and this is the 2-door Pajero, so it does feel like it's bigger. No, this one's actually heavier, probably because of that. This one has a metal spare tire too. Yeah, it is shorter, but it's fatter, and I don't like the proportions of this one. Honestly, for the first time ever, Hot Wheels has done a better casting than Tomica. And even though the Tomica one here is stock, the Hot Wheels one is an Evo, I think the Hot Wheels one is a better casting than the Hot Wheels one is just a good casting in general. Like, it's probably one of the best ones Hot Wheels has ever done. So that puts it as a high standard. And then being able to beat this is even a higher standard. But Tomica tried to redeem themselves. They did actually, no, this might be a 2nd gen. Yeah, that's a 2nd gen. Okay, well, this is your 2nd gen Nissan Mitsubishi Pajero for Tomica Premium. This is the only one you can currently buy. All the other ones are discontinued, even the TLV one, which they still could release another color of it, just not this particular version. They haven't recently. This one's like 5 years old, maybe 4 or 5. And I think the most recent one they did was last year. So there isn't like a recent one right now you can buy. This one you can, though, and it's 162, so it's really, really close to 164. And when you compare it to the TLV, there is very minimum room. Oh, hold on. Minimum room. Like, they look almost identically the same size. Of course, the Premium is a little wider. They're the same length, actually. Like it's off by like a centimeter, which is a lot for a diecast, but it's not too crazy. I like how this one kind of reverts back to this. It's funny because this is an older model Pajero, but it's a newer release than this one. And they did the silver and green two-tone, even though this one's not really silver. I love it, though. I love the classiness of it. Red Mitsubishi badge, which is probably the only one that does besides the TLV. But these are both of these are 2nd generations. I don't have a 1st gen. Actually, I think the monster truck one that Tomica did. Yes, they did a monster truck Mitsubishi Pajero. I think that's a 1st gen. I should have brought it out. It's the one I have missing doors. I'm sure someone remembers it. The TLV one is, of course, the best, though. Like, of any, this one is still very nice. But something I always like to point out on the TLV, look at the drive shaft, look at the exhaust, like it's all a separate piece and it's floating in there. There's air that can pass through it. Oh my god, I love it. And the exhaust pipe too. Like, I can move it. I just love it. It's insane detail. That's why I love TLV. And then, of course, you know, for some non-Tomica products, I mean, I already mentioned the Hot Wheels one. It's not out yet. When it is, I'm going to go into financial debt. But we have this one from Diecast Car Guru. Actually, this one came from Diecast Car Guru, too. This is a larger scale Pajero, of course. It's not a Tomica. I don't know what the brand really is. It's I also don't know what way this goes. MSZ, it's a foreign brand out of most likely South Asia. Very nice representation of the 4th generation. Oh, geez. 4th generation Pajero, and they look like, well, I mean, this is the new front end on it, so what is it? Is there a year model on it? No. So this is the facelift version, so the grill is just a little bit bigger, as you can see. Fog lights are, it might be, no, it might just be the Asian release, because I know they were different than the Japanese release. Like the rest of Asia got a different version. This one has opening doors too. Unfortunately, the spare tire on this one is plastic. I'll have to look into it. I don't know if it's a facelift or a just an Asian release. Oh, so that's why it doesn't have taillights, because it has clear taillights. I forgot about that. The real one does too. Like, it's just the light bulb that's red. The lens is clear. And of course, you got your accurate rims. You know, very nice model. The plastic is questionable quality. I mean, that's something you expect from these. But it's a really nice proportioned model. I really like that one. And way in the back here is a 2nd gen. I forget the brand on these. These things are really rare. They did a... Oh, right here. Lennar Toys. Yeah, these things are extremely rare. You pull this little thing in the back and it winds up the motor. Yes, it's supposed to be squatted. That's how it looks. And, well, this is actually a Montero, so this is a US spec, but I'm a sucker for that bull bar. And I re-chromed that bull bar too. Yeah, this thing's a little massive. It's a little bit in the way. We're gonna put it back. Uh-oh. Stop. Put it back there. Oh, and I painted in between the rims too, just to give it a little depth. There you have it. There's your little Pajero showcase and a little bit of somewhat of a history on the Mitsubishi Pajero. One of my favorite Japanese cars, which brings me to something I don't want to call a secret, because I just put it together like a couple days ago. But I have a new video series. You know, Untouchable Tomica is still new. We're still on the 1st season. And I'm going to bring in another new series to the channel. I do not have a name yet. Well, actually, no, I do. Ready for it? Sunrise Showcase. That gives you any detail. It's going to be sort of ran like this, but I'm not going to be focusing on one singular model. And it's going to be more so for the real life history, development, whatever on the car. And I'm going to tell the story using diecast. Interesting concept. We'll see how this goes. If you enjoy like any of that history stuff. And you know, spoiler alert, Sunrise Showcase, you know, sunrise kind of, you know, Japan, rising sun. There's going to be big focus on Japanese cars and a big use of Tomica. So yeah. And I'm going to try to create some unique thumbnails for that one. We're going to see how that one goes. But yeah, that is it for this video, at least. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.